Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tabletop Bob. My name is Bob. I'll be your Dungeon Master for tonight's game of Curse of Strahd. Of course, this is the Season 2 finale, Part 1. Gonna be like Harry Potter here. We're just gonna split all these up. The Hobbit, next season will be like 3 episodes for one book. It's gonna be great. But we're here, of course, because we are gonna try to do maybe the craziest thing done ever in role-playing game history, that is splitting the party for an epic season finale. We've got
What could go
Tim,
wrong?
Michelle. What's that?
What could go wrong?
What could
Nothing.
go wrong? Lots of things. Tim, Michelle, Dasha, Stefano, and Andrew are back with us, reprising the roles of their characters. Of course, Dasha, you're a special guest, still sitting on the floor. How are we doing?
I'm reaching my limit, but apparently our stuff's getting delivered Saturday, maybe. So hopefully next time you see me, I will not be on the floor. But I said that last week, so you never know.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This at least we're getting used to this, like, phone angle here. I got the window in the back's more centered. I
Yeah.
think we're doing better with the phone.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's a work in progress, but I'm glad it's working out.
Nice. And the over under, we'll say is Saturday then, for the so if people think it's coming Saturday, that's what you vote right now. Okay, in the chat right now, vote Saturday or earlier. If you don't think it's happening, the over is Sunday. All right, but we'll give it till the stroke of midnight, I think.
I'll post on Discord when it happens.
Thank you. We need some pics. We need befores and afters. Okay. Now, for everybody else here, we're only going to be seeing some of you for a little bit. And then we're going to be departing. 2 you're going to be leaving. And we won't know the result of each other's solo adventure in the castle. That's what we kind of discussed last week. So it'll be a kind of, well, I guess if you watch the stream, you could know. But your characters will not know, at the very least. And then the last thing I want to touch on here is oh gosh, now it just slipped my mind. What were we doing? Finale, Strahd, Castle. Oh man.
Vecna?
No, I wasn't going to talk about Vecna, but yeah, I guess so.
Rolling hit points.
That's it. Yes, thank you.
Was it really?
It was the leveling up. Yeah.
Nice.
So this party leveled up, and I guess we'll shout out Vecna Everuin. The finale to Chapter 8's coming up soon. We'll post the date next week soon. So you'll stay up to date on everything going on here on Discord, especially Discord. Down below in the description, you'll see links to all the social media and stuff like that. But the thing I want to talk about here was leveling up. So this party actually hasn't leveled up all season long. It's a weird thing because in the way the book states it, that there's like some events that could happen that would cause the group to level up. And the way that I had it in my mind was we were going to level up when you got each item or found the, every sort of thing that Madame Ava predicted. When you find your favorite ally and stuff like that, you would level up. But we've kind of remained a little stagnant because this whole season has kind of been on finding out how to figure out what the Sun Sword, how to activate the Sun Sword. So we haven't really achieved one of those milestones, but I misread the book, and the book does say it's at my discretion. There's a couple of other things that could relate as clearing certain areas, and so you did clear Argynvostholt. You got to Kresk. So I think those are 2 big milestones, good enough for a level up. And so we'll level up now as we head into the castle. So we're all leveled to 7, but we do like to roll hit points here. So we're going to jump to our Roll20 screen, and in lieu of our icebreaker, we're going to roll some hit points here. So who wants to go first?
I'll jump in there.
Let's do it.
So for a bard, it's a D8 plus Constitution modifier, so me a D8 plus 2. So here comes your D8. Let's see. Oh boy. 4 plus 2. That's 6 more to my HP. So if my math is right, I think I'm at 63. But anyone on the channel can double check.
Okay, 63. That's pretty high, actually.
It is.
Wow.
I had it at 57 at level 6.
Nice.
So
rolled-
I'm willing
rolled
to
high.
defer to anyone on the channel to be like, actually, Tim, your math is way off.
It's very possible your math could be off because in theory, right, 10 times 7 would be 70.
Yeah.
So you're pretty close. I don't know. Maybe there's something wrong, but we'll double check that later. Right now, at this point, go with what you had in your character sheet. I don't doubt you. Plus, we're rolling live, so we can check it. We can check it.
Yeah.
All right. So Tim rolled. What do we got for Michelle?
Okay, so my my Constitution modifier is a whopping +1. So I'll just roll a d8. Let's see what we get. Give me a d8, please. A 3 +1. So we have 4. So at level 6, I had 39 HP plus 4 gives me a grand total of 43.
Oh, wow. You're in the HP hole too.
Yes. Yes, very much so.
All right, Andrew, what do you got?
All right, let's roll.
Nice. That's an 8. That's
8.
pretty good.
Fantastic. So 8 plus 2 is 10. So I get +10, which I believe, and I had to do it from memory because I accidentally wiped my old hit points, but I believe I was on 50. So that puts me on 60.
Now, am I correct? We're using D&D Beyond, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we not? So it should have your max hit points at their level.
Yeah. Which is, yeah.
So you go to 60, and then we go to Canas.
Here we go. Well, that's probably the third best roll, or the second best roll that I've had for hit points.
You didn't get a
And that's
1. How many hit points are you on now? Like 12?
40.
Oh,
How's the
That
bard have
includes
more than you?
includes the Constitution, by the way.
Oh no.
Right. That's total of 5. 3 plus 2, total of 5. So that's that's just below average. It's not like egregious. But yes, when you have rolled a few bad ones already.
I think I rolled a 1, and I think I rolled a 2 twice.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
So not great, but 5 is better than nothing. So
Yeah.
you
It's okay.
poor
It
souls,
was
yeah.
bound to happen.
Yeah. And Orel is not rolling hit points. Dasha and I discuss this. You're like an NPC essentially. So we're not leveling you up in this case. You are actually higher level than the group to begin with. So that's pretty good for you anyway. You're the famed hero that's killed Strahd. So, I mean, come on.
Twice.
What do you need some hit points for?
Aurel has old man strength. He's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I hope it's enough. I hope it's enough for all of you. And
We shall see.
I'm excited. What's that?
I said we shall see. It's been a
We
while
shall
since you
see.
fought like this.
Yeah, one of the comments, I forget who said it about a week ago, was stating that the last couple of combats that the group had were near TPKs, like
Yep.
multiple combats leading up to this decision to split up. So is this the wisest thing to do?
No.
No,
No,
absolutely
not
not.
at all.
Yeah. We'll find
Stefano.
out.
No.
Crowdsourcing better ideas. So if Chad, you have some here, just let us know. But
Please do. And I guess the last thing I'll put here is we're going to put a poll in the chat. Which group will accomplish their mission? We'll say group 1 and 2. Maybe both. We'll put
You could
both.
say skull, prisoners, or both.
Mm.
Team Skull and Team Prisoners. And while we're at that, let's recap the plan. Last time we played,
Wait, sorry, you should do both or none.
Yeah.
That's all right. The poll's
Neither.
already there. Poll's already there.
if you think none, then chat
Don't-
that or leave a comment. Yeah. Well, here's the deal, everybody. I think that last episode we planned. I thought you did great in terms of planning your mission here. I think that there are a lot of good things here. It's a quick in and out, smash and grab mission. The goals are to get the skull so you can light the beacon of Argynvost, and the other is to get, at the very minimum, Rudolf von Richten from the dungeon. Now, it could also require... there could be some other things that require you to do something to get these. It's not like a guarantee. We don't even know that Rudolf von Richten is there. This is all sort of like the assumptions we made. If you can, the werewolf leader email, he's been trapped there. You've learned that from the werewolf den. That's another sort of goal for the group. But the goal, the primary condition is to get Rudolf von Richten, so that because he has the way to kill Strahd permanently. And again, the skull is the way that you can light the beacon and hopefully light the sun sword. So there's quite a few options here for the group, and again, maybe getting one is better than none, or necessary to get at least one. Who knows? We'll find out. The only thing you do know is that Davian Mardukov, the father of Erwin Mardukov, who owns the Blue Water Inn, he's a were-raven, and a group of his own family and other workers of were-ravens work at the Wizard of the Wines. You met him in season 1. Now, when you met him, you weren't really sure their relationship. There's an estranged sort of relationship there. They don't really talk to each other. However, he did share that many years ago, his father was trapped in the dungeons of Ravenloft. So they tried to make some sort of truce, come together, and so that they can help each other. You agreed to help him with his winery problem if he goes in and helps you, guide you to the skull, or at the very least gets you in. And the Ravens of the Feather are going to help you by distracting the creatures. They claim that there's bats and gargoyles and other winged creatures that will try to stop you as soon as you approach. So they're going to try to hold them off as quick as they can, or as much as they can, so you can get in quickly and get back out. If there's an issue, if you take too long, it's possible that they can't wait around for you. But you've got their word that they will try to do their very best to give you at the minimum 10 minutes to run in and run out. Did I miss any of the plan?
You got it.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Roughly,
Nice.
right? Might be some.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to jump into grayscale, and then we're going to play. Here we go. All right. Look at this. Feels like home, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Mm.
All right. So before you leave, you waited at least another day in Vallaki for the Keepers of the Feathers to kind of like get their squad together. They're gonna have about a dozen were-ravens that are gonna bring you to the castle, and the plan is, and this is, I imagine this is all sort of like a flashback right now. You're remembering back the previous night to hearing Erwin Mardukov talk about this plan, and he's got his family, his wife, his kids are kind of running around in the background of the inn. It's closed. His father's there. Half a dozen or so other were-ravens are here listening to the plan. And you know, something I realized, this is funny. I probably should have done this in season 1, but there's a whole family like portrait of them. I don't think I ever gave you this, so I'm going to show it to you right now.
Give us the portrait.
We want it.
So their children are Bray and Brom, whom they've kind of been like in the background. They don't really ever are part of the plan. They're kids, right? But you've met Danica and you've met Erwin. Here they are.
Ooh,
Ah.
that's so cool. That is not how I thought you spelled Irwin.
Oh,
How'd you
yeah.
think it?
With an eye.
E.
Oh.
Like to buy a vowel, please?
Kind of like Steve Irwin you were thinking, Stefano?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Irwin, you
Ooh,
are. Yeah.
And Danica kept her maiden name.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Very progressive.
Very progressive.
Obviously, Brover is a progressive place.
Yeah. So I just love I don't know which one it is, Bray or Brom, but the one in the front who's like really just like posing right there, like what art? Look at that.
It's great.
He's gonna be a real badass when he grows up.
It's be a real
Oh,
pain in the
he
ass.
already
wasn't it?
is.
Yeah.
He looks like that Trump. He looks like the Trump. What's he called? Baron Trump.
Baron
Baron.
when he was younger. He's
Yeah.
different looking
Right.
now.
When he
Yes.
wanted his suitcase.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's him. So that's the Mardukovs, Erwin and Danica and their children, and so the kids are playing in the inn area. They're playing like on the stage where Victavio was that one night, and the rest of them are kind of like looming over tables more towards the bar. So you can see the planning, the thought process, and this is flashback to the night before. You hear Erwin, and he says, "So the plan is, we're going to drop you off. We'll each carry one of you." He points to the ravens. "We're going to carry you. We'll fly you over the ramparts and drop you down right at the front door. At this point, they'll probably already be attacking from the skies, the bats. They'll be the first to react. And he says, and there's gargoyles that are both inside and outside. We've seen them, especially on more clear nights. We've seen them, and we know that they'll be sprung to life as a protection. However, he says, we can outmaneuver them, and all the were-ravens kind of seem in agreement with this. They're stones going through the sky. We're light as a feather. We'll be able to avoid them. Problem is that we have to be able to get back to you, pick you up, and then escape. So escape will be the more difficult path here. He says, but my plan is to get you right to the front door. You break your way in, and like my dad said, you go down to the right stairwell. Straight down, all the way down, is the dungeon. And Davian chimes in and he says, yeah, and I'll stick with this group here. The one searching for the Larders. Once I can get my bearings and I know where we are, I could tell you that this is the floor, certainly. And then they all nod in agreement. And Danica says, and we'll need some sort of a signal for when you're returning. Any thoughts?
Are they planning on picking all of us up, or is there like one group that they're prioritizing?
You say this to them?
Yeah, like if Rufus and I arrive at earlier or later than the other group, are they going to hang out, or is it a first come first serve rescue operation?
Well, we'll have to wait for them as long as we can.
Or
Esmeralda
they'll have
says,
to wait for us.
Esmeralda says,
Yes.
we'll wait as long as we can, but once we have Von Richten, we have to depart.
You will wait for us.
It seems like the ravens can come in shifts. Isn't that right? And they look around and they say, the longer we wait, though, the more dangerous it'll be. We'll be outnumbered at that point.
Yes, you said that the whole operation cannot take more than 10 minutes, more than likely.
10 minutes seems reasonable.
Well, I have 2 ideas for a possible signal. One, I can send Yune up in the air, and Yune will be invisible at that point, and then I will have Yune drop her invisibility and just start flying around in a circle or something. That can be one signal. And then if worse comes for worse, I could just fire an Eldritch Blast up in the air.
Very
What will
well.
that signify?
That the
Time
group is
to
ready to be
go.
picked up.
Yes.
Also, I can cast an illusion in the sky. Perhaps it would be better to keep Yune safe.
I agree. Although Yune will be with us, but I would prefer to keep Yune at my side than send her up in the air amid a battle of gargoyles.
Certainly.
Should you have one illusion prepared for if one group is ready versus a different illusion perhaps if both groups are ready to give the ravens more information?
We should be able to signal to the unready group also to hurry up. Can anyone send telepathic messages or such like?
I can, but only within 120 feet. So
And I don't believe we'd be able to send it down some stairs and through some
I
hallways.
was gonna say, like the odds of it being within a castle is slim, to say the least.
You could send Yune with us, then we could communicate with you.
Esmeralda says, ultimately, it doesn't really matter. The most important thing is that we get our goals, find our prisoners, find the skull, and retreat. When the ravens return, they pick us up.
It's decided then. I'm with it.
Good. Now get some rest. We have a long night ahead of us tomorrow. And this sort of image of this discussion kind of fades from your memory, and you feel the wind upon your face as you're flying high over sky. You can see through the clouds and mist, the night's air. The Ravenloft, the castle, is pretty well shrouded. Now you're banking on the fact that Strahd is not here. You've heard rumors that he is in Vallaki currently. But the next day, you secretly all traveled out of the town. You ready to wagon with some extra were-ravens, ready to pick you back up, pick up the skull. And they hid along the road leading to the castle. You approach from the east. Sorry, you approach from the west. You're headed east. Approach from the west. And you can see the large spires jutting out of the sky. You can, even though you don't know that, you know that they don't use like much light. They're creatures of the dark. It seems like there is areas, portions of the castle that flash sometimes, that there's things going on. There's movement, there's activity, despite the fact that it looks relatively dark and abandoned most nights. You can tell that there's creatures lurking about. And as you get close and you approach the drawbridge, the ramparts, you can see bats start to swarm, almost in anticipation. And it's not long before you're heading over the castle walls when bats start striking. Go ahead, Rufus.
Can we like rewind to when we're just about to get picked up?
And so as the bats start pummeling into the were-ravens that are holding each of you, and the road becomes the flight becomes very rocky, almost jostling all of you out of their claws. You remember back the night before again, to Rufus talking to the group.
Well, this is right before we take off. So I also activate my suit of armor with a Kazam. New Jackson, I'm calling him.
New Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
New or nude?
New, N-E-W. As in not
Important difference.
But before we all take off, friends, I would like a moment to address you all. And I gesture to the group, Esmeralda, all the were-ravens, Aral. Say, my friends, we have pursuing a great and glorious mission. Yet thus far we have been like master ships on Strahd's ocean, blown hither and whither by his cruel whims. Yet today the winds change. Today a fresh breeze from the east. Today we unfurl our sails at last, and we will carry the fight to the enemy. We will strike with courage and valor at last. In the heart of his darkness, no more we are adrift. The winds of destiny are blowing, and before them no foulness, no vindictiveness, no vampire will stand. My friends, for glory!
For glory!
Glory!
Everybody gets 9 temporary hit points.
Wow.
Including Esmeralda and Aral.
Woo!
Right.
9 temp, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's good for Esmeralda, too. Okay. And of course, as the bats continue to pummel the were-ravens that are carrying you, you remember back to that speech that Rufus gave just 10 minutes earlier. It was incredible. You steady your nerves and grab on tight, hold on to the ravens as they plunge downward into the courtyard below. And so here we are. We're in the courtyard here, and you'll see that there are some ravens, like actual ravens that are following you. These are were-ravens in their raven form, and they kind of swoop down. I imagine they're in some sort of like a flying formation. I don't know if ravens do a V, but that would be really cool. And they come down and fight the bats and sort of chase off these like swarms that have attacked. They've given you a little reprieve from everything. And you can see that there's one gargoyle on top of the courtyard wall that overlooks the main entrance. Just so you can be aware of this, the maps for Ravenloft are actually really good maps, I'll be honest with you, for the Dungeon Master, because being such a multi-tiered leveled map, it can be very complicated, and we've already seen some maps that aren't always great. Like I think even the Argynvostholt map was kind of annoying with the overlay. This map is really good. These Ravenloft maps are good. However, some things aren't always visible because it depends on the view. So this is the outside view, kind of like the most outer layer. So you can see like this is the roof of the first section, the part that has the door. The door is actually like within this little alcove. There's an alcove here. It juts in under this rampart. So imagine there'd be like a door here, right? Or like a archway here, like that.
The
And so you
stuff
have
that
to-
you're pinging, I don't know if everyone can see, by the way.
You can't see my drawing there?
Well, it's just because we have limited light or vision.
Oh, okay. That's
Oh.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Some of us aren't
I
as good
can-
as Dione, yeah.
However,
Oh.
you've also only given me 60 feet. I have 120.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move our tokens up. How's that?
Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Now I can see the gargoyle.
So there is a
I can just see the
gargoyle.
wall.
You can see the wall? Okay. There's a gargoyle that's right above the wall. I just moved the token here, okay? So you can see this, and there's a lot of gargoyles that like litter this area. Like there are so many like statues and stone structures around the castle. And in fact, let me read you the description here. Of course, it also starts to drizzle. So, thick cloud of fog swirls around the courtyard. Sporadic flashes of lightning lance the weeping clouds overhead as thunder shakes the ground. And through the drizzle, you can see torch flames fluttering on each side of the keep's open main doors. Warm light spills out of the entrance, flooding into the courtyard. High above the entrance, you can see, like I said, these gargoyles situated, menacing faces leering down at you. And as they sense a presence of an intruder, they begin to move and shake off their slumber. So, if you choose to go straight in, there's no need to fight the gargoyles, but they are coming to life. And the were-ravens will all shout at you to move in. Erwin, in fact, will say, "Get in, we'll hold them off." And he starts to take flight. And I have tokens of were-ravens here. Actually, I've never showed you a full token of a were-raven. They look kind of weird,
Wow.
but, you know.
Ooh,
Oh. Like
Like a-
Kenku.
Yeah,
Yeah.
almost
Very
like
cool.
a kenku.
yeah.
Yeah, because they're humanoid with their size, right? So anyway, so they're there. There's the were-ravens that carried you in. Some extra were-ravens that are trying to fend off the swarm of bats, and then of course your tokens. Just to clarify some of the tokens here, because you might not see them that often. Esmeralda is the one to the bottom. I just brought her up to the top. She's the red headband. This is Davian Mardukov, the older man. This is Erwin to the top, and Danica, which I'll separate them now because they're not coming with you inside.
Right.
Have you got New Jackson?
No, I don't have New Jackson. Let me get him. There we go.
He
There's
looks
New
so
Jackson.
cool.
Okay, New Jackson. I like it. All right, so let's jump in. You want to run into the castle, I assume. Describe what happens as your crew lands here. What's the order, formation? What do each of you do, say? Feel free to talk.
I'll just shout, Davian, quickly lead us to the dining hall.
He starts way ahead of you, and he starts to file into the opening.
And people
Okay.
people close to me feel they're moving with more alacrity than normal.
Really?
If you start your move within 5 feet of me, you get to move 40, an extra 10. You get to move an extra 10 foot in your move.
Wow.
Amazing.
Mm.
Dione feels so inspired by this increased alacrity. She starts like running while she's still in the air, like her feet are pedaling just like before
Like a
we
dog
touch
being
down.
held above the water.
Exactly. Yes. So then she's like paddling in the air, and then as soon as they touch down, she just like boom, she just barrels forward, stumbling at first a little bit, but then catching her feet and moving with incredible alacrity.
I like that.
Yes.
Arel will land in a very dramatic, like you know how when like Captain America lands, he like kind of like is on his knees and then like slowly straightens back up. So Arel
Superhero
will do
pose.
one of those when the he'll do one of those when the were-ravens drop him, and he'll just before running in, he'll like stand and reflect and survey his surroundings because he did not think he would ever come back here again.
Yeah, and you recognize some of it, the entryway, the ornate outer doors of the castle, etc. You do know, like when Davian spoke about even the stairwell, you recognized that stairwell. You've not taken that stairwell personally, but you definitely know the gist of where he was speaking about. So all this rushes back to your memory. What about Laurent?
Laurent seeing Arel kind of not quite nostalgic, but like caught in the moment for a minute. Like we have to keep up. We have to keep up with Rufus. We have to keep running. And then seeing Dione start running in the air, I just feel like the Scooby Doo noise in my head, like the doo-doo-doo-doo, as the feet move in a large circular motion, almost like a figure eight. But Laurent is beelining behind Rufus as quick as possible.
Sure. And Canas?
I'm just rushing with Davian. I'm not even paying attention to these things. I'm just trying to move as quickly as possible.
And Yune as well, following you
Yes.
invisibly.
And I say, Yune, go invisible.
Oh, she's already invisible.
And then I look back and I'm like,
Good. And then finally, Rufus, what do you do?
Well, Rufus moves in fast with a dexterity and a manliness. His hair's flowing. He looks truly amazing.
Good. And you follow, Esmeralda follows suit. She actually follows and kind of closes the towards the back area. She has her rapier out and she's swatting bats out of the air as they start to like funnel back down towards the group. And she closes the main doors behind you. All right, so here's what you see in the entryway. As I described, there are these ornate large doors. They were opened, flanked by fluttering torches and sconces, but now you're inside and it's also lit. There's other lighting in this room. This is a small little like set of this is maybe like a foyer. There's another set of double doors that's closed on the other side. So you're in this small little chamber. You go up to the doors. Davian goes up to them, opens them up, and inside it appears to be the main hall. You can see a great entryway, cobwebs stretching between the columns that support the vaulted ceiling of this great dusty hall, dimly lit by sputtering torches and iron sconces. There's one more thing, actually. In the chamber that you're in right now, this little foyer, there are 4 dragon statues that are in the corners of the room, kind of staring down at you. They give you a bit of an eerie feeling, but they don't come to life like the gargoyles did outside. And then when you see this large main hall that I just described, you notice that the torches, they're flickering and everything. They cast odd shadows across. There's plenty of different statues in here too. Some look like maybe gargoyles, but others are just, statues, pieces of art, and everything when it hits the floor, the shadows looks like it moves or, juts away in an unnatural manner. You'll see a cracked and faded ceiling frescoes that are covered by decay. Can't even make out what the original images were. Probably some sort of very elaborate artwork. All right, so I'm going to move us to a new screen so you can kind of get your bearings on this one. But let's jump to that. Okay. All right, and now tell me if you could see your characters.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, great. So again, this was the double doors here. We don't need Erwin or Danica; they're still outside. But these double doors are the ones that Esmeralda closed, so we'll close them. And this is the small room with the dragon statues, and then inside is where you would see these, like I said, statues, the pillars, this great hall, and move your tokens. Feel free to explore. Esmeralda looks around, just kind of mesmerized by what she sees here. It's her first time really being here in this castle. She knows of it, but never really got a chance to see it. And you can hear music coming from a set of double doors this way, organ music. And you also can see a few other things in this area. There's a huge stairwell right here that leads up and kind of turns to the west. You don't know where that would lead, but it certainly is a massive stairwell, a grand staircase. And then down towards the south, you can already see like there's some other hallways and things like that. And Erwin will lead the way and say, sorry, not Erwin, Davian will lead the way.
Yeah.
I believe it's this way. Come, hurry. There's not much time before we're discovered.
Let's go.
Does that music sound reminiscent of what Arel and his party heard the first time they came here?
Yes,
And
organ
like where
music.
it would be coming from?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will warn the group, beware that Strahd, though he may not be here himself, has been known to cast illusions in the past. So he may seem like he is here. I think that's what happened last time, right? Michelle, remind me. It was an illusion of him playing the organ, I think.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
It's been 4 years. I don't remember.
I remember the one of him at the feast table, all the food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
4 years. Time flies.
I know, right? It really does. So looking at the stairwell before you, you can see Erwin, Davian. I'm going to say Erwin a bunch of times for his name, probably. But Davian looks down at the stairwell, and he's kind of scratches his head, and he goes, I think this is it. Let's head down. And he starts to descend. Esmeralda, coming up from the rear, kind of pushes everybody along. Hurry now, let's go. Step to it.
Is Davion leading all of us to like where we diverge, or is he just beelining towards the dungeon? Do we know?
This is the stairwell that's supposed to lead to the dungeon. Now, the larder is a separate area, but it is in this same vein of like the stairwell. It leads to
as long as we're going the right, as long as we're not following him in like a circle, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, he remembered that when he was, here, captive in the cell, that they brought him up to see like a grand feast. He was starving. It was sort of like a way to torture him. And he remembers being dragged up the same stairwell, so it must be on the same like plane of this wing of the castle, essentially. So yeah, so he starts to move towards it, and as you step onto the spiral staircase, you can see a reddish light sort of like emanate these like glows. Essentially, there's like these stairwells have light to them, and almost at your like a sensor light here, this like reddish light kind of ultimately lets you to see down the stairs, and the torches kind of rush up. It feels like you feel like a chill wind kind of going down. So all the light in these sconces, the reddish light blows and sways. Feels like it's almost breathing.
Is the wind going down the stairs away from us or up towards us?
Rushes down. A chill wind rushes down the stairwell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
No worries. It's good clarification. And you descend further down into the depths of the castle. And at some point, you come to a landing. It's the first landing. You're not quite sure how far down. It was a pretty steep stair, pretty long ride down the stairwell. So you're not sure how, maybe 40, 50, 60 feet down the spiral. So it spirals quite a bit. And you feel like at this point you've gotten to a landing. And Davian looks at it and he says, "This is where we part." He looks to Dione, Canas, and Esmeralda. He says, "Well, I'll try to find that skull for this crew. You head down, get the prisoners."
Will do. We'll see you back in the courtyard soon. Rufus, Laurent, Aurel, good luck. Pick a god and pray.
Have faith, my friends. We will see each other again.
Aurel will look at Esmeralda, Canas, and Dione and say, "May Paylor guide your journey," and he will cast aid on them. So you guys, your HP max and your current HP goes up by 5.
Wow.
Awesome.
And for Esmeralda as well, Bob.
Esmeralda, that's aid, right? So it's actual HP?
Yes, their HP max and current HP goes up by 5.
Okay, so, great.
Not temp.
Yeah, because the temp will double with that, or add on to that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, great.
All right.
So
and
Dione
will just give like a somber nod, just like look each person in the eye. Laurent, a nod. Rufus, and Aurel, and this whole time, she's looking up like this, nodding like that at that angle. She's We shall see each other soon, I'm sure. Success is our only option. 10 minutes.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
All
10
right.
minutes. We'll see you on the outside.
Good luck.
Good
Good
luck.
luck.
Bon chance. And then Dione will pivot and stride forth into the darkness.
All right, here we go. So everybody, we'll let Michelle and Stefano depart here, and we'll jump over to our new scene.
See you next fall, not a minute before.
All
Oh
right.
my
on
gosh,
3.
good luck, guys.
Okay.
On 3. Ready? 1,
Yep.
3. I got Michelle. All right. Now that I've got the 2 of you, or 3 of you, I guess, alone here, what's up with those guys, right?
Yo, right?
Oh yeah, man.
Weirdos.
Werewolf.
This is the elite vampire hunting squad right here. This
This is
is
elite
90%
squad.
of the group's power.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So-
There's a reason I gave them the HP bump. We don't need
Yeah.
it.
Good luck. You're going to need it.
We're gonna finish
Well-
our mission in 2 minutes and wait 8 minutes outside for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, there is going to be one little tick here, is that this is the only screen I have. So, but it's
Fear
fine.
of the mind.
Theater of the mind, yeah.
Well, it's actually going to be better for this anyway, because like I said, you're taking a little snapshot into here. Like, your characters don't really need to know like the entirety of the, like, it's mostly a massively black screen, and then this, like, you know, the couple rooms that you're going to be checking out. So this is actually better. So we're going to leave the Roll20, well, we'll need it for dice rolls, but we'll leave it behind for now, and we'll go from here. All right. So you exit out of the stairwell onto that first landing that you see. And you can tell you're in a larder, actually, because you can actually smell food. You actually smell a lot of aromas right now. There's the smell of food, but also that of like decaying food. You feel like rotten food, and perhaps even the hint of dead flesh is around you. And it wafts even through the narrow openings that you can see. There's a door straight ahead of you off this landing. And so as you approach the door, Davian will take the lead. And he says, "Now, it's been many years since I've been here, but I'll tell you one thing. You can always follow your nose." And he's got a very large one, beak-like. You know, he points to it. And he starts to head towards the door here.
Rufus does a gesture and casts locate object. He's looking for a silver dragon skull. And the spell can locate the nearest object of a particular kind, such as a certain kind of apparel, jewelry, furniture, tool, weapon, or skull. It doesn't say skull, but
Because that's really
I added-
specific. It would
I
say
added
skull
that.
description.
Well, such
That
as.
was a
It's just
lie.
yeah.
it just gives examples. So anyway, I'll leave it up to you, Bob, how that helps me or not.
So
But
I think we
kinda
talked about this
maintain-
last time. The only problem with the spell is it says that you need to have some familiarity with it. Like, it says the spell can locate a specific object known to you as long as you've seen it up close.
But then it says, alternatively, the spell
Oh.
can locate the nearest object of a particular kind.
Oh, right. Yeah. Actually, now I remember we did have this exact conversation where then
Mhm.
you said that, and I said, oh, well, then I guess that would work.
Yeah.
So a dragon's skull, silver dragon's skull.
Do we have light?
No, you guys are all humans, aren't you?
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
going to cast. I will cast light then. As a running cantrip, I will cast light. That'll tie my other cantrips so no one gets guidance. But there will be a running light spell on us, around us, near us.
I can
Gotcha.
also cast, and I'm going to cast use sacred weapon. So my sword is going to emit light for 20 feet and then dim light for 20 more beyond that.
Okay, so you have a little bit of a light source, and similarly, you can cast light, Laurent.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, so let's do this. Let's bring everybody. Well, we don't really need the Roll20 up right now, so I'll move us back to the main screen. But you see the door there, I think, in front of you. I just moved you from that screen, but you can see that there's a door there. and Davian will move up towards it. When he does, he opens the door, about to open the door. He actually listens to it first, and he quietly motions to you to come. And he says, "You hear something? Come here. Put your ear to the door."
I'll do it.
Give me a perception check.
5. Aurella's
A 5.
fold.
Nah,
I
you
can't
can't
hear
hear
very
it. It seems pretty quiet. He says, "I think I hear something on the other side."
Well, it matters not. For it, we have to go.
He says, "Yeah, you open the door, and right in front of you is a whole pack of vampires. You ninny."
I'll
Rufus,
listen then.
Listen and yes. And Laurent, you too, you're younger than I am. Better hearing.
Go ahead, give me perception checks.
19 for Rufus.
A 13 for Laurent.
So Rufus picks up on what Davian was talking about. You can hear the sound of one booted footprint, and then the other is, it sounds like something else. Like it sounds like somebody's walking. They have something on their other foot. Like it's not a shoe.
Like,
Peg leg.
Like a
yeah, I was
peg
gonna say
leg?
like a peg leg, or like they only have one shoe on.
It could be. It could be.
I just hear one person. Let's go.
Does
Doesn't
this
matter.
ring a bell to me in terms of anyone I've encountered in this castle in the past?
Yeah,
No.
I'll say.
It does not.
No.
Mm-mm.
And my locate object is pointing me in this direction.
It is.
Let's go. We have to be
Get through
hurry.
and then yeah.
We have to hurry. We have no time for this.
Open the door
Yeah,
quietly.
I'm gonna try and open the door as quietly as possible.
You open the door, and inside you can see a pretty big room. This hall stands in, other than the footsteps that you had before, pretty much silence. Heavy beams support the sagging 10-foot-high ceiling. You actually see fog clinging to the floor that obscures everything that lies basically like within 3 feet from the floor. And a giant shadow lurches across the ceiling. A dark figure shuffles.
Do we get
Okay.
attacked?
Yeah, I was gonna
No.
say, do they turn towards us or?
No, you don't.
Is-
Because you
is there a-
anticipated a figure and heard it before, when you open the door, you look up and you hear the sound, Rufus, the sound of like that foot and then something else. But in the rafters, there's cross beams here, and this thing is moving up in them. It's too dark or too far away to see.
Just
If I
come.
raise my sword up in the air, will
No.
that help illuminate it more?
You don't see anything in the 20 feet or so that your bright light emits, or dim light, whatever it was, which would show. Doesn't reveal anything.
And is there another doorway to go through after this room?
So there are actually a couple of doorways here. There
Which-
are double doors to your left. That's visible, very much in sight. Within the torchlight, you can sense that there's like bars, almost like, looks like that of a jail cell, to the right end of the hallway, the eastern side. But that's where like your light kind of ends. And then you see 3 doors straight ahead on the northern wall. And then there's a stairwell that leads up, and that's on the northeast side. So there's literally double doors, bars, 3 doors up ahead, and a stairwell at the other end near the bars. It's a big room.
And what does locate object tell me?
So locate object tells you that the double doors to your left are where the object would be.
Follow me, my
relative-
friend.
Or does
door.
this look familiar to you?
No, I have never been here before.
The doors
We
to the
never-
left. The doors to the left.
Irwin says, "I think he's right. I can sense it." He looks around. He looks to the bars, as Rufus probably just starts moving to the left. he looks, and he's got dark vision, better dark vision because he's a were-raven, and he says, I can't believe it. The nerve. He says, give me that torch. Oh, actually, there's no torch, is there?
There's no torch.
No, it's a sword.
No.
Give me that sword.
I will not give him that sword.
Well, then come here. And he grabs you by the wrist and starts dragging you to the right, to the eastern side.
Davian,
Davian,
come, we must
control
go
yourself.
now.
Hold on
Oh.
a second. He pulls you. Do you resist or do you go with him?
I will resist. Yeah, I know where we need to go, and we need to go fast.
He's
I
going
will
to try to pull you along.
step up towards him with the light spell.
He pulls you along, Aurel, with a total of 17. Give me an athletics check or acrobatics to oppose it.
Yep. A 9.
So he
He'll
takes
pull
you
me
by
along.
surprise. He takes you by surprise, and he's got old man strength, and he's also a rare raven, so his strength's pretty high. And then as Laurent offers the light, he'll motion you as well, grab both of you by the hands, and bring you further down into the hallway so you can reveal what's in between the bars. And this also makes whatever creature is lurking up in the rafters move as the light is getting closer, and you can hear the booted footstep propel the body to a further beam and then to another one, and you can hear almost like the booted print gives like a push off, but then you hear something crunch into the wood as well on the landing.
Whatever it is, it has like claws or talons.
Yeah. And so Davian gets maybe halfway down the hallway, Rufus shouting in the back to be like, hey, over here, come here. And then he says, now look, and he takes your hand and shines the sword up towards the bars. And you can see, it looks like wine crates. Arched frames of stone form a low, wet ceiling over a wine cellar. There are literally like iron bars closing this off from anybody just going in there, but you can see great casks lining the walls. Their bands rusting, their and their contents with inside, holding them in. And you can see a few very hungry rats sort of like scurry about. They look like they're pretty thin, but they scurry about away from the barrels when the light reveals. And he says, that's my wine. Those are some real old barrels of Champagne de la Stomp.
This is not the objective of this mission. We must go back.
He shouldn't
We
have
will
any
work on
of
getting.
them.
We will work on getting your wine back and getting your vineyards back into production. But right now, we can't afford this time, Davian.
I don't need the wine back. I need to destroy it. He says, and as he goes over to the bars to like rattle the door open. Blocked.
No, I will try to grab him.
I
Not
will
let him do
try and
that.
help grab him.
You
All right, the
Jackson,
two of you
you Jackson, grasp that man.
grasp that man. New Jackson
Restrain
springs
him.
into. Yeah. Does he have what? He has a helm, right? A head.
Yeah.
So he like nods the helm, like in the visor goes down, and he's like RoboCop, walking like RoboCop towards him, and he's. By the way, great movie, Dasha. You should check it out. So he goes over. Tim also, I'm getting the sense
Because I also haven't seen it, so.
I was more thinking Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows when McGonagall summons the
The
knights
giant
in
statues for
Hogwarts.
the Battle of Hogwarts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then she's like, I always wanted to use that spell. I love that part. Anyway, that's
Okay.
what I'm imagining.
I'm fine with
Not
that too.
RoboCop.
I'm a big Potter fan too, so that's fine. That makes more sense for this. So yeah, so he starts maneuvering over.
You can't
And,
give me RoboCop and then take him away.
all right, he's RoboCop. He's
He's RoboCop.
He's RoboCop. He's moving over, and he doesn't speak like he doesn't have voice, but he goes over and apprehends him as Laurent and Aurel bring him back. And he's angry. He's not fighting, but he is very upset that Strahd has this ancient vintage here. It should not be his. And then you'll see the creature from above stoop down and show its face. You can see it. He looks. It looks like a man, but there's a lot that has changed. Very similar in fashion to the mongrel folk. He wears sports like ragged clothing of furs and leathers, and carries a lantern that he now lights. His face looks like more like that of a like a beaver or a muskrat or something like that. He has one booted foot attached to a pretty standard human leg, and then the other is webbed with like claws protruding from it. And when he holds up the lantern, you can see a little bit more of his body. He's 10 feet up on one of the beams that goes across, and he like pokes his face down with the lantern, and he investigates all of you, searching, scanning. What do you do?
I just want to leave. I'm just going to start leaving. Like, they're behind me anyway.
Well, so you walked in, and Andrew, to the left side was the double doors that you wanted to approach. To the right was at the end, they're opposite of the hall.
Yeah.
You're already at the double doors, I would assume.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What do you do?
Me.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. And I'll open the double doors.
The double doors are locked. When you get to the double doors, they are heavy double doors. Like, they're reinforced wood with iron bands. They have a pretty sophisticated, what looks like a handle, doorknob, that sort of thing, a lock mechanism into them, and they look pretty formidable for anybody to break down quickly. I mean, not impossible, but they look pretty sturdy. And you can see as you look to the right-hand side, there's a smaller, definitely much more easy to open door. It looks like it's maybe a closet. In retrospect, it's like a very small door to the right. Again, there are a couple more doors on that northern side of the room, but this door is locked.
I try and smash it.
Give me a damage roll.
Like athletics.
Oh, you want to like break it down? Oh yeah, give me athletics. Yeah.
I'm keeping an eye on the figure while this is all happening.
27.
Wow, excellent, nice. So, yeah, you start to push into the door, and you'll eventually. It takes a little bit of time. This is not like a one nudge with the shoulder, but you kick into it. You start to break into it, and eventually you feel like the door is starting to splinter or give way. Now, the first time you do it, you'll notice it does make a pretty loud sound that echoes throughout the hall. Do you want to continue?
Yeah.
Does the creature have a reaction to the noise?
Not anything that would be like startling or something like that. He looks over and sees what Rufus is doing, but doesn't really say much. So Rufus, you're no need to make more checks. You're eventually breaking this door down. All right. So the creature though will pop over as you bring Davian closer towards Rufus. Will start to follow you. You can see the lantern light up top, kind of following along in the rafters. And then he calls down once he gets to what he feels to be like the closest he wants to get to when you get to the door. And he calls down and he says, "What's your name?"
Nobody.
"Oh, nobody. What a clever name. My name is Cyrus. Cyrus Bellevue. What are you doing here? You're guests, aren't you?"
Cyrus, the Lord Strahd has sent us to retrieve something from the larder. Is there a reason this door is locked?
"I'm certain of it, yeah. It's locked. Of course it's locked. Everything here is locked."
The Lord of Barovia wants something out of the larder. We need it unlocked. Are you in charge of the keys?
"Yeah, I got the keys. Of course I do. Anything for the Lord."
Then please, and I'll gesture towards the door. And Rufus smashes through the door.
Come on, you fools. We must hurry.
Cyrus, we no longer need your key, but I appreciate your diligence, and I will let the Lord know.
Take the keys from him.
He's up on the rafters, but he says, "Oh, no need to take my keys. I'm sure that you're here for a very good reason. If
Lord Strahd wants you doing something, and it's very important, I'm sure.
Yes, come with us.
He says, you're certain you're just guests? You're not trying to hurt me or nothing?
We won't hurt you.
Not unless the Lord of Barovia orders it.
Give me a persuasion check, Tim.
Oh, boy. Okay. Ah, man, that's a 9.
9. He says to you,
Look, I don't know if you should be here. The master won't be pleased if you're snooping around. Look, his guests should be in the guest rooms. You must have your own beds.
Who's snooping? I told you, we're here to serve the Lord and no one else.
The master will not be pleased.
We are not merely guests. We are emissaries from the new government of Villaki. And as you know, the Lord is there now, and he has sent us to retrieve an item he desperately needs to bring order back to that city.
He like grunts and groans, and he starts to slap his head like back and forth, back and forth. He says,
Oh, fine.
He hops down and lands with a thud on the ground. You can see him now in full view. He stands at maybe just a tad taller than Dione, because he's kind of hunched over. But he probably could, if he had to, stretch his body out to normal human height. I'll give you some artwork of him so you can see him. And Chad, I apologize. I'll have to show you the artwork later. But Cyrus, this is Cyrus.
Oh.
You see him?
Yeah.
Oh my. He looks like Beast from Beauty and the Beast.
Mixed with an Ewok.
Yeah.
Looks like that Pettigrew guy from
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
He does have like a rodent-like face. That's why I said it's more. I thought it'd be more like muskrat than like a true mouse or a rat, but close. He's close to it. Yeah. So he's the one who hops down from, and maybe I could just show it real quick to the chat, and we're out of obviously order here, but there's Cyrus here. So, so he sees what you're doing. He says,
You broke down the door. You'll have to pay for this. Doors aren't cheap.
Let's go.
Davian says,
Hey, do me a favor. There, Sparky. Go over to the wine cellar. You got keys to that, don't you? Oh, I do have keys, yeah. Right here.
And he holds up a big ring of keys.
He says, Good. Go open that wine cellar for me, will you? He's like, I've got to get something for the Lord Strahd.
And Cyrus goes,
Oh, I don't know about the wine.
He starts hitting his head again.
We're not here for the wine, Cyrus. We're here for something else.
This is This is taking too long.
I'm having him fetch it.
See? He points to his head, showing his intelligence.
Besides the point.
So the two of them are arguing. Rufus runs into the cell. Or into the cell, into the room.
Into the next room, yeah.
Yep. So this room is wild. You broke down the door, and now that you can finally get a good look at it, it's kind of horrifying. Dark stains cover the floor here in this area. A large, massive oak table fills the center of the room. It looks scarred and beaten. It lays, on top of it lay scattered about like toys in the room. Lay scattered like toys about the room. Their wood crushed and splintered, replacing, I'm botching that. I cannot read tonight. That's what the problem is. Dark stains covered the floor of this area. Large oak tables, scarred and beaten, lay scattered like toys about the room. Their wood crushed and splintered. Replacing them are furnishings made entirely of human bones. So there are fragments of real furniture here, but the furniture's been replaced. And you come upon this room, Rufus, and a chill runs over your body. And everybody else, Aurel, you look in here, and Laurent, while Cyrus and and the old man are arguing out in the hallway. What do you do?
I focus on locate object. Which is there doors here? What's the next step?
There are doors in here. There's one to the north and one to the south. However, Rufus, there's no need for locate object anymore. You look around, you scan the room, you can see the walls, the 20-foot-high vaulted ceiling are a sickly yellow color. Not because they're faded or time-worn or anything like that, but they are adorned with bones and skulls as well. They're arranged in a morbidly decorative fashion, giving the room a cathedral-like quality. You can see 4 enormous mounds of bones in the corners of the room, and garlands of skull extend from these mounds to a chandelier of bones that hangs in the ceiling above. And you can also see that there are chairs festooned with decorative skulls, all that stuff. But to the above the doors, literally, you look up. You walked in, you looked up, and you could see a massive dragon skull decorating the double doors.
As soon as Laurent kind of notices his surroundings, he's got a really tough time keeping down his light breakfast this morning, and like throws up in a corner.
Laurent, steel yourself.
Just give me a minute. This is a lot. We've seen some stuff. This is a lot.
Is the skull silvered?
No, it's bone, but again, it was of a silver dragon.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
How can we bring this down? How is it suspended up there?
Cyrus says,
I might be able to help with that.
Yes, we've been told to bring this to the master.
Yes, I can help you with that.
and he starts to like walk towards your way, and you see exactly now why you heard what you heard before. He like kind of limps through the fog that's still on the ground, and you could hear the boot press down against the floor, and then his webbed clawed foot kind of like rasps against it as he moves along. And I imagine he's got a little limp too, kind of like Igor, Igor vibe here, where he's like,
Yes, master, I'll help you.
and he goes over towards Rufus, kind of jarring, gets in your way, brushes up against you. You can feel the fur of his arm hair touch you.
Aurel walks up to Laurent, who's throwing up in a corner, and will not like pat him on the back, but like a little like steel yourself, man, kind of thing. And he'll say,
"Hold my hair back."
He'll hold your hair back, but he'll say, just a little longer in here. I know it's atrocious, some of the things you'll see in this castle, but hang on for a little longer.
It's just bone, people.
Oh my God, Rufus.
So insensitive.
Steel yourselves.
No
This
mercy.
is no glorious way to act.
Well, what do you do?
After a minute, Laurent is completely emptied his stomach and has nothing left to throw up. But we'll start looking towards the ceiling to see what Cyrus is going to help us with exactly.
He says, well, what do you need?
We need that skull down here.
Oh, I can fix it for you. Yeah, we just need to get a ladder. Just a ladder from the larder.
Can you get that for us?
I think I got one here. Hold on, let me,
You hear the jingling of keys. He's like, oh,
this one, no.
hold on. And he starts to walk out into the hall again towards one of the smaller doors.
Is there any way that we could bring this down? It is
How high
up is it?
It's massive. It would take up the size of a 15-foot long, square. So like bigger than
Right.
large, huge, and it weighs hundreds of pounds.
But
Is
We
there
can
like anything
reduce it.
suspending it up, like a pulley system or anything that we can
Right.
maneuver?
Yeah, there's no pulley system, but I mean, you could, however you think is reasonable. You have spells or things I know you've talked about using large reduce. So
You see if I can see like a connection point, like a chain or whatever's holding to the ceiling, can I try and target that with an Eldritch Blast? Or even better, a heat metal, a little bit more subtle.
There's no metal actually that you can visibly see here. There's only bone. Now it's got to be
Eldritch Blast
attached.
it is.
Got to be attached somehow. Yes, though I just will warn you, breaking the skull of Argynvost would be really detrimental to your mission.
Does it seem like it's hung so precariously that I can't take one chain out?
Would you like to investigate it a little more?
Yeah, if I can.
Give me an investigation check.
Investigation. I am so smart. I got an 8.
Innate. No, I mean, without even getting close enough to it, because it's above the double doors, it's very high up. It's a 20-foot high ceiling, I think I said, right? So it's pretty high up there to see where it's fastened of some sort. It must be fastened to the bone wall.
Math and physics is well beyond me. I'm not. Rufus, we need a ladder for this one.
Cyrus is already out in the hallway. He's like, you hear the jingling of keys. No, not that one. No.
I can try and reduce its size, but that won't get it down to us. Once it's down, I can definitely reduce its size.
Where's Davian right now?
Davian's outside the doorway. He's looking at Cyrus as he's going through, but you'll see he starts to move a little closer towards the center of the hallway.
I will go grab him and bring him back.
He sees you come towards it and he goes, all right, officer. You got me. Look, get the damn skeleton and let's get out of here. In the meantime, I can go destroy that wine.
I will grab him by both shoulders and look at him in the face and say, Davian, my friend, we've known each other and fought together a long time. And I know that you're above letting your personal vendettas get in the way of the larger mission here.
Give me a persuasion check.
14.
14. Let's see. Davian says to you, all right, fine. Can you hurry it up in there, though?
Okay.
Yes.
Bob, I have Peerless Athlete as my channel divinity,
Mhm.
which gives me 10 minutes advantage on strength, dex checks, carry, push, drag, lift, twice as much weight as normal. And the distance of my long and high jumps increases by 10 feet.
Mhm.
So if I activate that and I want to jump up, grab the skull, and climb to the top to see how it's fastened,
You could. Yep, you could do that.
is that something that would be feasible?
Totally.
Because I'm like 6 feet tall, so 16 and normal jump. Okay, I want to do that.
Okay, you jump up, you get up to the top there, and you don't have to worry about rolls for it. You can reach the skull and grab onto it, right, and start to climb your way up. And so as you climb your way up, you can realize, yeah, it's fastened up there. It looks like it's like got a bunch of different ropes that tie into the bone wall. It'll take you a little bit of time, but you can cut the ropes down and the skull would fall. So you can easily remove it. The question is, how do you do it?
Would it break if it fell, or can I cut it in such a way and it'll dangle, and then I'll cut the last one, it'll be safe?
You feel like that you could probably do that, but there's a chance that unless it's caught, that it still could fracture or break even with the fall from 10 plus feet.
I'll summon Sir Jackson. Sorry, New Jackson.
New Jackson, yeah.
And
Wasn't Laurent going to reduce it as well?
I can start to reduce it once it's being cut. We just have when it's reduced, it's only reduced for a minute at a time. So I'm gonna try and use it as sparingly as possible.
Yes, you probably want to reduce it right when you're ready to run out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cyrus says, "Oh, you hear him in the other room. I got it. This is the key." And he opens up a door, and inside you can see. I say Arel because you're out in the hallway getting Davian, while Laurent and Rufus are removing the skull. And Rufus, totally fine. You start to cut the ropes, you take a dagger out, start cutting the ropes, and you're about to let the last one dangle when you hear on the other side of the door creatures coming from the doorway.
I knew we should have killed that guy.
The door opens, Orel, and a horrible odor of decay emanates out from it, wafts out from it. This is where the smell came from before. You can see inside the room a huge pot bubbles over a blazing fire pit in the center of the room. Its green, muddy contents churning. The far wall that you can see is lined with pegs, hanging from which are a large number of cooking implements, some of which could easily double as instruments of torture. And from the depths of the bubbling cauldron, you can actually see some sort of humanoid creature's skin melted off of it, just sinew and muscle and grotesquely hideous mutated corpses crawling their way out of it. We're going to roll initiative.
Lovely.
Roll initiative.
That's a 4.
$16.
19 for the round.
Okay. Let's see. 19 for Laurent. What'd you get, Rufus?
16.
16. And Aurel?
4.
4 for Aurel. Can somebody roll for Davian, please?
Yep. I'd say 7 plus whatever for Davian.
Okay, great. All right. So we start with Laurent. Now, Laurent, you're in the other room. I would say that you're at the doorway, so you don't see the creatures. They're probably like 25, 30 feet away from you. Or the door that Cyrus opened is about 25 feet away from you, diagonally to your left. You see Aurel standing like, within line of the door. He's probably like 20-ish feet ahead of you. You just based on his reaction is what causes you to do this, and you can react.
From where I am, does it look like Cyrus has any like ill intent in his eye? Or is he just acting like is he really doing? Can I tell? Is he really doing the best thing for like what he thinks is the right thing to do?
Insight. Give me an insight check.
Sure. 18.
Yeah, he did this on purpose.
He is actively trying. Okay.
You got the sense that it was all a show. Like he's smiling, grinning right now.
Yeah, he is acting with malintent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cast a 2 Eldritch Blast at him then.
Okay, great.
What are you doing? I was getting the ladder for the larder.
So I imagine the first one is a 16 to hit. Is that it?
That does hit, yes.
That'll do 4 force damage. And the second one is a natural 1. So big miss on that one.
Yeah, that's going to be a bigger miss, yeah.
Do with that as you please.
All right, so what's the damage total?
The damage is just the 4 on the 16 to hit.
Okay, great.
And then for my bonus action, I'm going to draw a card from my Taroka deck to determine a tale on my spiritual Tales from Beyond. So we're just going to roll a d12 here and see what happens. It's an 8 for my d8. So it will be, in my next turn, I can bestow that tale on somebody.
Okay, that works. So, yeah, you blast him once with the Eldritch Blast. It kind of takes him aback, and he slams into the wall. He's going to drop his little facade here, and he smiles back at you. That does not kill him, the 4. All right.
Yeah, I can't imagine it would.
Now we're going to go to, let's see here. It's going to end up being... Laurent went. Rufus, you're up next. And what did Davian get? Who rolled for Davian?
He got a 7 plus whatever.
7 plus. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's fine.
Okay.
Right.
So I go.
Rufus, you're up.
So I'm on top of this skull. It's swinging back and forth.
Yeah.
I don't want to get off it because it's going to be hard for me. Well, I guess I can jump on it with my extreme strength. But I see.
New Jackson's ready to catch it, right?
Yeah. Is he? Like I look at him. I look at the skull. I know his strength. Do I think he can like catch it enough that it's not going to break, or is it going to be a disaster? Do I think?
He's pretty strong. I mean, you haven't tested his strength, I would say, in this manner. But if Laurent is also there, he's at the doorway. Laurent is underneath it. I mean, he could help out, I guess.
Yeah.
Laurent, I'm going to cut the last rope and jump off.
I will be here, and I will stick my arms up the best I can in an almost cartoonish way, ready to get squished like an Acme character.
Okay, here we go, and I'll do it. Cut it. Jump off.
So you take your dagger and you feel the rope, the last threads.
I'll hold on the
stopping.
rope,
Yeah.
the other side, so my weight's not on the thing, and I'll hold
Yep.
the rope I've cut. And then as I do it, I'll do it very slowly. And as it starts to go, I'll hold it and try and lower it down a little bit so it doesn't get full impulse straight away.
Give me an athletics check. That's what this is going to be described as, an athletics check.
Okay, I believe I get advantage.
Yeah, because you're doing your peerless athlete thing, right?
That's a 26.
Nice. So yeah, so you cut it, and I imagine another Captain America reference. Remember in Captain America Winter Soldier where he's holding the helicopter and like the bar of the helipad?
Oh, yeah.
And he's like holding the two together. I imagine Rufus cuts it, grabs hold of the skull as it's falling. So you've got the rope of the skull, and you've got the other rope that's hanging by the rafters, and you're just slowly lowering it down to Laurent. You're fully extended here. Yeah. Laurent and New Jackson grab it, secure it, place it on the table.
The breeze of cold air that's blowing through this place, you see it ruffle my hair back as I do it. It flows.
Yes, his hair.
Laurent is just looking at Rufus's like absolutely ripped pecs and just like, wow, if only Irina could see this.
If only. All right.
Making
so
a mental note to describe it later.
That's Rufus's turn. Now we're going to jump down to some of the NPCs. So, Davian got a 7, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Not a 7, a 5, excuse me, a 5. So, actually, Cyrus is going to go next. So, Cyrus ends up, he'll take out a dagger, and he's going to throw it at Laurent. Laurent, what's your armor class here?
14.
All right. He takes out a dagger and throws it at you, and he hits you for a total of 5 damage as he flings it across, kind of penetrates through your armor just to get a little bit of a stab into you, but it's not deep. He didn't have as much force as you would have assumed. Some of the other mongrel folk that you met in the temple, where it looked like they had maybe like more strength-based things, whereas he's got maybe a different set of skills.
And then question for you, Bob. I know that I'm trying to catch the skull, and I already used magic this turn. Can I use a reaction, or am I tied up with the skull right now?
You know what? I would say that you can do a reaction. I kind of suggested that for you, but Andrew
if you say like the skull is tying up my I'm totally okay with that. That's why I want to ask first.
Because Andrew rolled so well, I think we'll reward that he was able to lower it to New Jackson, and New Jackson's kind of taking the brunt of it.
Okay.
So
then I would like to use a 3rd level Hellish Rebuke on Cyrus.
Oh, nice. What's the saving throw? Dex?
Dex saving throw of 15.
He's not good at these. He gets a 0. So he's my fur. What's your total?
Take 29 fire damage.
Oh my God! You kill him.
Nice.
My fur! As he like gets immolated, and he just goes and slumps into the wall. The last thing you hear is his shrill scream as he collapses. And as he does collapse and finally hits the floor with a thud, the creatures start to exit the room towards Aurel. Aurel, these hideously like boiled over zombies come at you. What's your armor class?
My AC is 20.
All right, so the two of them slam into you as they exit the door. Oh God, you can see my rolls, can't you? You can see them.
Yeah, I just saw
That's
that.
not good.
Damn.
That's not good, Aurel.
Okay.
All right, so you're gonna take. Let's see here. So it's not crazy. So this is the crit. So it's gonna end up being 9 bludgeoning damage. but 10 fire damage as their bodies are steaming hot as they barrel into you. They sear your flesh. So that's the critical hit. The non-critical hit is going to do a total of 6 fire and 7 bludgeoning and 6 fire. All right. You
All right.
recorded that down?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So these steaming hot zombies, you know, bubble out of that cauldron and rush over to you and slam their bodies into you. And then it would be Davian's turn. Davian's gonna take his time to attack one of those bodies. So he'll do that. And let's see what he gets here. He's gonna use he takes out a short sword. He's in human form here, so he's gonna attack with a short sword. He gets a 22 on the hit for 4 piercing damage on one of the creatures. Okay. And then we'll jump over to top of the order here, Laurent and Rufus.
The skull is down. It's not in jeopardy in any way right now. We can focus solely on
The
combat.
skull, New Jackson is in possession of it, but he's resting it on the table.
Okay, that's fine. As long as that's perfect.
Can
Can I
say-
cast? Go ahead.
Can I speak, or is it
As long as it's short, you can speak.
reduce it? Let's go.
Okay. With that, I will cast a.
You want to reduce
boy,
it?
That's yeah. I'll cast reduce. Second
Okay.
level spell, so it's reduced.
So just remember, you want to post it in the chat, just so we have the exact spell.
Posting it right now.
If I remember correctly, it's an eighth of its size.
From medium to small, for example, the target disadvantage in saving the checks.
So it actually would go to large. So it's got like almost like a 10-foot area, correct?
Yes.
But it's an eighth of its weight, I think, is that.
That's
what
I'm
it
double
was.
checking now.
Decreases by 1 category.
Yeah, so it goes to large instead of huge. And then... Sorry, that's on a creature. That's on a creature. The object... that
Creature
you-
or
yeah.
object. You see within
but
range.
I think the size category thing was on a creature, if you do it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, targeted
If
object
it's
must be neither worn nor carried.
Yeah, if it's an item, then it would be smaller. Actually, this is, I don't see... We read it last week, didn't we?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out what we were reading last time, because I'm now in D&D Beyond and looking at it. It doesn't say anything specific about objects. I'm wondering if that was Michelle's
I thought it
specific
reduced
one.
by an 8th by its.
Yeah, I remember us having that conversation.
Yeah.
I'll bring it up right now. Enlarge, reduce. Here it is. Enlarge, reduce. Second level transmutation spell. Same thing you have, right? Second level transmutation spell.
Yep, that's one. I'm checking right now if it's like one of the legacy ones versus like they updated it in the new edition.
That's what we looked at last time. We said we were confused by that, yeah. Yeah, so it says the target size is halved in all dimensions. And
So
its
in
weight
the
is
legacy
reduced.
one, yeah, it's the reduced by half in all dimensions and 1/8 its normal size.
Okay. Because we're, we talked about this last time. I'm fine going with this one. I think we said there was no issue with it. So
I
the
will
target
re-update it
size
in the
is
chat.
halved. All dimensions and its weight are reduced to 1/8 of normal. The reduction decreases the size by 1 category. So it's a large size now. So it's 1 size smaller, and it is 1/8 of its normal weight. So the weight of this thing is 250 pounds. So who was our math nerds here?
It's 10, 20,
250 divided by
30,
8.
31.25, I believe.
I think my children weigh more than that. So it's like I feel like it would be like if the skull was made of like foam. It's like
a dog. It's like picking up a dog.
But the weight is much more distributed because it's still like 10 feet wide. It's like
Yeah.
a surfboard. like a big heavy surfboard. So I would say if you want, New Jackson can carry that. Is that what you want to do? You want New Jackson to continue with it? Rufus, really more for you. Oh, he's frozen. Oh, there.
While that's going on, can I use my bonus action to cast a Bardic Inspiration on Narelle?
Sure. Yep.
Perfect. And that's my whole turn.
Thanks.
All right. So the two of you, not the two of you, excuse me. New Jackson has control of this much smaller, much more manageable skull. Andrew, I know on your turn, it is your turn now. He would move. I like to do familiars and things like that on the same turn. So, what do you want New Jackson and you to do?
So everyone within 5 feet of me can move an extra 10 feet as their movement at the start of their turn.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, what did you do in your turn? You just...
I reduced it and then did a Bardic Inspiration for Orel.
Did you move at all?
I would like to start beelining back out the way we came without running into the creatures if possible.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you can move up to 40 feet. You move 40 feet towards the way we came.
Yeah, as long as there's no creatures
gone yet. I don't know.
Oh, Orel, my bad.
Sorry.
Yes. Orel, go. Orel's last. That's why I have you as last. And go ahead.
No worries. I'm just going to slash at the two that attacked. Actually, well, whichever one hit me worst, I'm just going to attack it twice with my sword.
Okay. The same one that Davian hit, we'll say.
Okay, sounds good. And then I have my Sacred Weapon up, so I'm adding +2 to those attack rolls, and it's a magical weapon. So that's a 17 and a 22.
You hit both.
Okay.
Tell me the damage
And-
separately.
So I'm going to smite as well. Can I smite on both attacks, or is it just one?
You can, but do one at a time.
Okay. So first attack was I'm using it one-handed, so 11 slashing.
Mhm.
Plus sorry, I'm like losing where is smite?
Oh, don't worry about the smite. I think it's
Okay.
not actually something you can add. You would just roll the d8
Okay.
separately.
Okay. Got it. So 11 slashing for the first attack, and it was 13 slashing for the second. Are these creatures undead? Or
They are.
fiends? All right. So that'll be 2d8 for each of those attacks.
More than 2d8, no?
Divine Smite is...
It's
Oh,
2d8
you're right.
2d8
Yeah.
plus 1d8 for
plus
undead.
1d8
Okay,
for the
right.
undead if you're using a first level spell, right?
Yep. So here's the first. Smite was 15.
Mhm.
And then 20.
Okay, so the total on the first hit would be what?
The total on the first hit, math. 11 plus
Plus 10?
15. So
Oh, 15.
15, yeah. So 26.
Okay. The creature is
And
gonna
then-
the creature's gonna take a con saving throw, because as like most zombies, they can come back to life.
Mhm.
So the damage is the save is 5 plus the damage that you did, so that's a lot. That zombie goes down. The second attack
Okay.
will be on the next zombie, and that's going to be a what'd you get for the
30.
damage?
That would be 33 total.
33. So let me roll that as well. Okay. And that's going to kill that zombie too. Yep. Great. Excellent.
How many zombies
right.
are there total coming out?
Well, there were 2, and you can see that the cauldron is bubbling over, and it looks like more and more coming
Now
out.
we're gonna call-
It's like almost
Okay.
like a clown car. Like there's no way this many bodies could be within this soup, but yet another hand comes out drawing another body. It's like continuing every round.
As I'm attacking, I do my final like slice with my sword. I'll look back and see that they've got the skull, and I'll yell to them, "Start moving towards the exit."
Okay. So Rufus, it's your turn. You commanded Laurent started to move. you commanding New Jackson to move, and you're going to hop down and run as well?
Yeah, I'm gonna hop down and move. If I move my 40 feet, whereabouts does that take me? Does that take me next to Laurent now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. Because I didn't dash on this turn, because I want everybody to be together. I fire a guiding bolt at that cauldron.
Okay, go for it.
A 16 to hit.
You hit, and I see 18 radiant damage, right?
18 radiant damage.
I don't know what happened, but my Google thinks that I'm talking to it. Did I say something that sounds like a hey, Google? Did I say something that sounded like that? My phone just was like, what do you need? I'll help you. Yeah, we can find a cauldron stew recipe. Great.
You're looking for recipes of zombies.
If you want to find out how to hide a body, I can help you. Anyway, don't ask your Google stuff while you're playing D&D, everybody. That's the pro tip right there.
Don't ask your Google about hiding a body either, because it'll tell the police.
Yeah, that's true. Andrew knows from experience.
Andrew would know.
Why do we think he changed his background all of a sudden in the last couple months? He's in the basement now. He's hiding.
Got to keep an eye on something.
So that's fine. So you start to head down, out the doorway here, and you take a pot shot at the cauldron. And you smash into it with radiant energy, and that cracks the cauldron. It looks like it has some more hit points, but if you crack it, potentially that could spill out the contents. We'll go to Laurent just went, Rufus went. It'll be the enemies now. So another one pops out of the cauldron and starts to head towards Orel. Orel, what's your armor class again?
20.
But slams. Oh my god, a nat 20.
Great.
So it's going to end up being a total of 13 bludgeoning damage and 15 fire damage as it sears into your flesh. And Davian will do his best. He'll slash at one of them and then take a maneuver towards the doorway, following your command. Rufus follows Rufus's command, and then Orel, it's your turn.
I will continue attacking and slashing. As I'm doing that, I'll yell, "Get them out, Davian! Make sure they get out!" And it's just one that came out this time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Nat 20 and a 26.
Oh yeah, perfect. Nice. Very good. Wow. So you got to roll the damage twice, so that's only one. So that's 14 on the first one.
Mm-hmm. 9.
And then the total is 9. So 14 and 9 is 23.
Mm-hmm.
This one's still up.
I will smite.
Okay.
Once again.
This might do it.
This will do it. This not just go down.
I just closed my roll 20. Guys, hang on.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
Punished.
I'm like balancing multiple. Oh no, I didn't. Did I close it?
What's your passive perception, Ro?
My passive perception is 11.
11.
8 smite damage, by the way.
And that'll potentially kill it. Let me roll to see if it can withstand the damage. No, it can't. It kills it. And so you look back towards the door. This is a chance to escape. Would you like to take it?
If I don't see anything else coming out that could endanger the group, if it seems like the coast is clear, I'll try to escape. If there's any inkling that there are still enemies left, I will stay back for a second.
No, I mean, you look into that room and you see the cauldron. There's nothing there. There's more potentially coming out, but right now you have a clear shot at running away.
Does the group look like it's made its way out a good
I think
amount?
so, right? Group, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Let's
You've
go.
all ran, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we're booking it. We're not staying.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first thing I would before I try to run, I'm gonna see if I can close that door to the cauldron. If more stuff comes out, to at least slow it down.
You can slam the door shut. Yep, and you start to head back to the group.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys get to the stairwell, and so we're out of combat here. There's no more monsters here. So you get to the the stairwell, and New Jackson is pretty competent with this, so he starts to ascend, going up the steps. Davian will come up and run up as well. What about you, Rufus and Laurent? What are the two of you doing? Just rushing out?
I want to dash in front of New Jackson, just in case anything tries to assail him.
Gotcha. So you rush ahead of New Jackson. Laurent.
Lead the way, yeah.
So
for the
Rufus
first
is
time in my
leading the way.
life, I would like to not take my time, but I'm happy to take up the back of the train on this one. I got a plan if anyone falls behind.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm not
so
letting you do that.
Well, then can we at least run
Or else
close together?
pushes you forward.
Well-
Man, I'm worried someone's going to try, and I'm worried about Aurel trying to put up a last stand here, and it's not going to happen.
Well, I've got bad news for the two of you. Neither of what you want to do is happening. So, Laurent, you look back to the door. You see Aurel just closed the cauldron door that's across the hallway. So you can see him rushing towards the door that you're in, and gets in, right? Gets through the doorway, and is maybe 15 feet from you at this point, not very far away. And Aurel, I did roll for this. I don't know if you saw the roll. You might have seen an errant D20 when I asked you for your passive perception check. But during the combat, something you did not notice was that our friend Cyrus Bellevue was feigning death. And so he crawled his way over to a lever across the room. And as you rush past through the door, a cage drops down right in the middle of that platform, the landing that you all had, got to this floor on. And I will show you, I'm not making this up. There is something there in the map that this is a legitimate thing. I'm not just not making something completely fabricated here. But iron bars close down around you, and you can hear something, Laurent. In the wall, there is a little alcove. You weren't sure really what that was, but now you can see a weight, a big, huge slab of stone lands in that alcove, and that weight is like a pulley, and the now floor that Aurel is on, surrounded by the bars, acts almost like an elevator and launches Aurel up into the ceiling. There's a massive, huge pit beneath this. Looks down into the darkness.
So Aurel is gone. It's now just me in the room.
Yeah, and I think Rufus and New Jackson and Davian are already ascending the steps.
When Aurel goes up, is there any way to get up there? Is it like a... Is it like an elevator? Is it like a chain or anything up, or is it just like totally recessed into the ceiling and no way
Totally
to
recessed into the ceiling, and you look up, and eventually you see like I would assume even your vision is not even long enough to see where the elevator has gone to, but it's just a big, massive pit.
I had a plan. Plan's gone, and we're gonna run out.
Wait, can I do something?
You can do something as the cage came down.
I'm going to say that maybe in the split second between the cage coming down, Aurel realizing what's happening, and him shooting up, he's going to look at the group. Maybe the group is ahead. No one notices. Only
Just
Laurent's there. Just Laurent. And they make eye contact. And Aurel, I apologize for this. Aurel goes, "Fly, you fool." I had to. I'm sorry. That's his last words.
And then
Aurel is taking all the XP for himself again. Got to fight the Balrog alone. Come back.
So she goes up in a big elevator.
Yes, Aurel, he does. Yeah.
He. And up a big shaft we can't even see.
Exactly.
Got him.
Oh.
All right. Well, then, I mean, like, my plan is completely. That's it. I will. Can I shoot off 2 Eldritch Blast at Cyrus? Because F that guy.
Yeah, you can. He's at the doorway, so he's laughing. You can hear his doofy laugh as he feels like he's gotten one over on you. Go ahead.
Actually, instead of a Eldritch Blast, can I cast a Dissonant Whispers on him? It's a Wisdom saving throw of 15.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do that.
He'll fail.
That's gonna take 16. I think it's psychic damage.
And then he has to run, right?
He has to immediately run away from me in the safest route possible.
He'll cry, and you'll hear his whimpering, his fake tears as he runs away towards the wine cellar.
And as he does that, I will follow after Rufus and New Jackman.
New Jackson.
Yes.
All right. You get up to the top, and you land back into the grand hallway. And you can see that, and hear that there's definitely the din of combat outside. There's the squawking of ravens, and you left all the doors open, essentially. Or actually, no, one door was closed, I should say. But you can hear the din of combat outside as you get into the main hallway. You look around. Your friends are not yet here. So, New Jackson looks for a new command.
To the door. Let's
He
get
rushes-
this skull to the ravens. They may be outside, waiting for us already.
He rushes to the door and opens it. The organ
Right.
music playing in the background. You can hear it in the side
And I go
chamber.
with him. I don't want to leave him on his
Yep.
own.
The three of you the four of you really, Davian too, heads towards the door. And when you open it, you see 4 red dragons in that final hallway. Those statues that you saw when you first entered, they have come alive. And we are going to pause right here for your finale. 4 dragons encounter you in the exit of Castle Ravenloft. This has been the Larders of Ill Omen, finale part 1, episode 17 of season 2. Orel, your fate is unknown, and what will happen next week when the group encounters the dungeons, the catacombs of Ravenloft. More to come. Andrew, Tim, Dasha, great finale part 1 for you guys. Great role playing, and seems like a success. You got the skull. Huge.
I mean, we made it out.
Those dragons could just be an illusion. I think they might be an illusion.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely not real red dragons, but I mean, I'm sure they can do real damage to us regardless.
Orel did warn you that there are some illusions here in the castle, so... For the rest of us, though, we will see you all next season. Wow. More to come. We'll see you all on the tabletop, everybody.